Deanne Fitpatrick, and I want to welcome you to my studio in downtown Amherst, Nova Scotia. Come on in and I'll show you around, and I'll show you how to hook rugs too. Hi, I'm going to show you now what I hook on. This is a Shed-A-Camp frame, and it's a table-like frame, but you can also hook on a small hoop or a small laptop frame. This frame works like this. You sew your burlap onto it, and then you use these gears to tighten it or loosen it, and you can hook a very large rug on it. I use wool cloth. A lot of times I use recycled wool cloth, sometimes new. Sometimes we hand dye it, and I hook it onto burlap or linen. Basically all you do is you take the wool through your fingers like this, and you put one hand underneath your frame, and you use your hook to pull the wool up one loop at a time. So just like this. It's a very simple craft. There's only one stitch to learn. Now, when I hook, I like to use a lot of different textures and fabrics. I love interesting yarns, like this is a curly locks, and it's hand dyed. And when you use wools like that, you can just take them, same principle, but when you hook them, look what happens. Pull it up, and you get this fantastic, creative stitch that's completely different, even though you did exactly the same thing. Sometimes I use braids, and we sell them here in the studio. This braid is made out of silk and wool. So basically all you do is you take the wool and you pull it apart, just like this. Again, it's the same principle. You pull it down, pull it up, loop by loop. And that's how you hook rugs. It's very simple. What's interesting about hooking rugs is the different textures and fabrics you can use. This is fleece right off the sheep, hand dyed. So basically, if I wanted to hook a flower garden, I just pull that up right next to the pink that I pulled up. Maybe put in a little purple. Just keep it really loose, free, and interesting. I hold my hook quite loosely in my hand. And then I put a little green underneath that. Oh, I'm getting a little caught up there. You bring all your ends to the surface. So as I hook this green, when I'm finished hooking, when I'm finished that strip, I make sure all my ends came to the surface. And that's rug hooking. It's very simple. Okay. So these are just a sample of some of the interesting textures that we sell in the studio. And this is how you use them. And so this here is fleece. And you can see I've cut up an old sweater right here. This is curly locks. And this, of course, is wool cloth. Some of it recycled, some of it new, some of it hand-dyed. Here's a little series of small framed rugs. These just are all about 8 inches by 8 inches and fit nicely into a wooden frame. So rugs can be really small and decorative, or they can be very large like the last ones I showed you. This is some of the wools we use in the studio, and this is our sari silk. And I hook a lot with this because I love the texture that it gives my mats. I've written 4 books on rug hooking, and in the studio we carry them all. This one is East Coast Rug Hooking Designs. I've also written a great primer, Hook Me a Story, which is really good if you want to learn how to hook rugs, and also The Secrets of Planning and Design. These 2 mats are part of a show that I'm doing right now called Darkening the Door, The Art of Visiting, for the Art Gallery of Newfoundland and Labrador. And this show will be available, and hopefully we'll be touring in all kinds of different communities and places.